Essential travel tips for first-time retirees moving abroad. Prepare for your move. Now, what I did and what I suggest you do is to free yourself all possessions, up to and including your house. Get rid of all of it, liquidate it, cash it in, put it into your retirement pot. Two reasons to do that. One is you won't have to worry about stuff while you're traveling around the world having fun. And two, you'll have added a big bump into your retirement fund that can work for you while you do your travel in your early retirement phase. That may seem pretty radical, but losing all that stuff is a great way to start up your retirement so you can focus on experiences by spending your money wisely on fun things to do instead of tying it up in capital assets. Second point is pack light. Now, I'm not saying just bring backpacks. I'm saying pack light, and with the expectation that you're probably not going to wear half as many clothes or use half as many things that you think you did. That's been my experience in the last 9 months. We started off with 4 suitcases, and now we're down to 2, and we still don't even use all the stuff we have in those 2 suitcases. So take it from me, pack as light as you can, and you'll appreciate it later. Next thing is, if you're flying overseas or flying to a distant destination, make traveling business class a part of your retirement experience. It doesn't make any sense to go coach and go cheap, and you end up not being able to rest and not being able to enjoy your long distance travel. It may cost you a few dollars more, it will, but that's investing in yourself, investing in your body, and making the most of your time, and you deserve it. So go for the business class ticket, shop around, find an affordable day to travel and affordable itineraries. Remember, you're retired, so you don't need to travel exactly when everybody else does. You can pick and choose smart and get a good deal by traveling more flexibly and through more diverse itineraries than the average holidaymaker will do. So take advantage of that. Next point is to use the airport lounge. I have a type of Visa card that gives me access to an airport lounge network around the world. I highly recommend it for obvious reasons. You get comfort, you get food and drink, you get away from the loud noise at the airport gates. That will enhance your travel experience and not make it a burden, actually make it something you quite look forward to when you pick your next destination, rather than seeing travel as a burden or as something to be avoided. You'll actually enjoy it, combined with the other things I said about flying business class. My second topic is to set up your financial and your communications infrastructure. So make sure you have a good travel card. I've got a Chase Visa card that gives me points, and I use that for all my expenses, almost all of them. I'd say 95% I put on that Chase card. I get the travel rewards points, and I use them either for hotels, if I need a hotel every now and then, and they have quite good deals on that. So get a good travel card, and that's the one that gives me access to lounges as well at the airport. So it's a 2-for-1. Definitely get one of those cards, and also have access to cash wherever you go. You know, I always put a few units of cash into my wallet of the country that I'm in, and I do that because a lot of places only take cash, especially mom and pop type places. And I have a Schwab ATM card that will actually credit you any fees that ATM charges, so that's a good deal, and it's accepted absolutely everywhere. So I highly recommend you get that combined with the Chase Sapphire credit card. Those two have been working well for me, so I would recommend you take a similar approach. Yeah, and keep all your banking in your home country. You don't need to open up bank accounts around the world. Just keep all your banking in one place and make sure that your assets are there where you can track them. And that way you have a US account at all times that you're familiar with, and you don't need to expose yourselves to the vagaries of foreign banks or any kind of regulation that you don't understand and you don't want to get involved with. So keep all your assets in your home country. And for security, you need to get a VPN service. I use NordVPN, which is very, very good and stable. And the reason I use a VPN, for obvious reasons, right? You just need to make sure nobody can snoop into your Wi-Fi connection when you're in a hotel, at the airport, or actually 24/7 I use a VPN. keep my communications private. That's just basic stuff. Next one is communications. So I have phone and data and text with Google Fi. Google Fi is a great service. It's not the cheapest, but it does let you keep your mobile number. So both my wife and I have Google Fi, and it's an eSIM, so it's very easy to get it set up, and it's very affordable, and it absolutely will get you connected. As soon as you touch down in a new country, Google Fi will automatically connect you to the local data, text and voice network. So highly recommended, and that way you can talk to your friends and family. Also, sometimes your banking institution or others will want to reach out to you on text or even a call to authenticate you. So you have that ability with Google Fi. Okay, housing and transportation. So I'm pretty new to this thing. I don't try to be too clever. I go to a well-known branded booking site like booking.com or Airbnb. And I think in the future, I might become more adventurous and actually fly to a country, check into a hotel, and then go find a place using my feet and my eyeballs. I might do that in the future, but to be honest with you, I've gone the very safe route and low risk route of using those two platforms, and they've been pretty good so far in terms of accurately reflecting what you're going to get when you make the bookings. And I haven't been disappointed with the quality of the places that I've been offered and that I've experienced using those platforms. And next thing is, don't be tempted to immediately fall in love with the first place you go. Allow yourself to make sure you visit lots of different places, and that way you'll be well informed. Potentially you could find a place that you could settle into, or a country or a town or a neighborhood. But no matter how much you love the first place you go to, don't fall in love with it. Just make notes, keep track, and then try some other places, and you can always go back and revisit a place that you love. And the other one is rent, don't buy. This is obvious to me, right? I rent everything. I don't buy anything. And that way you're not tied down to a country or a location or a currency or any kind of tax implications of being a landowner or homeowner. And that way your life is very, very simple. You always have complete freedom, complete flexibility. Next thing is arrive at a new country, get some cash out of the ATM, and use Grab or Uber or whatever the local app is for getting transportation to your accommodation. The reason I don't like to go and get a taxi is because sometimes you have to haggle, sometimes you cannot explain the address you're going to. If you use an automated service like Grab or Uber, there's no arguing over the price, and the address is very clearly communicated to the driver in their local language. So keep it simple, use an app like that. So stay in a walkable area, stay in a far town that you can go outside your front door and go walk around and do interesting things. Don't be tempted to go to a resort, maybe that's outside of town, that is luxurious and beautiful and has a pool and all that, because you'll get bored pretty quickly. So stay in a central, walkable location. And associated with that, if there's a good infrastructure, if there's good transportation networks like a good railway network or a good subway network, then do use it. Get the card, get the travel pass card. You'll save a lot of money and you'll get you from A to B. For example, Bangkok has a great transportation network, and I use that quite extensively, and it's very, very cost effective. A couple of bucks to get all the way across Bangkok, and it's a great way to travel. Okay, next topic, health and wellness. So if you're going to stay somewhere for a while, eventually you're going to want to get a medical checkup or do medical tourism. Now, I decided that Bangkok's going to be my base of operations for medical tourism. So I got a health checkup at a very good hospital, and I covered that in one of my other videos. But just get that done so you establish a place where you want to go and get all your records kept, and a place you can go back to once a year or whenever, and they know you and they'll compare your data and you'll have some consistency there. So don't scrimp on healthcare. Similar to that as a dentist, find a dentist you like and that you know you can go back to every 6 months. And again, I found one in Bangkok that I'm definitely going to go back to. Also got my eyes checked as well, and got my prescription updated. So don't let these things lapse. If you're taking prescriptions, make sure you have a 90-day supply when you leave the US. And then when you get your health check in your foreign country, make sure you get your prescription. Next one is, and finally on health and wellness, you should go to the gym, or you should at least go out walking. For example, today I'm walking on the beach. And keep yourself fit, keep yourself active. Don't be tempted just to be on vacation mode and hanging by the pool and maybe eating a little too much or drinking a little too much. Try and get into some healthy habits and avoid unhealthy habits. So day-to-day living, try and eat local food at least 50% of the time. By local food, I mean what the local people eat at the places local people eat. Now you can cook yourself, which I would recommend if you're living in a place with a kitchen. I always get a place with a kitchen, and I try to get a place with a washer as well. But try not to go to Western restaurants or fast food joints too frequently. Make that the exception rather than the rule, and that way you'll get the most experience in terms of local food. You'll also save yourself a ton of money. And just to be sure, don't drink the tap water. Depending on which country you're in, the water quality may not be as good as it was in your home country. So unless you're positive that it's filtered water and it's clean water, then just don't drink it out of the tap. Get a place that either has a water dispenser that gives you clean water, or get some water provided to you in a bottled water. Better safe than sorry. You don't have to live like a local because you're a nomad millionaire. But what you can do is do tourist things a couple of times a week, which is what I do. Go and do what a tourist would do when they're in that location that you're in, and enjoy it as a tourist. You can get quite best of both worlds. You live for most of your time just in a laid back, casual way, and then a couple of times a week you go out and do something very touristy, and it's a great way to mix up your week. And just allow extra time to get from A to B, to get things done, and just acknowledge that depending which country you're in and which culture you're in, things might take a little longer or might seem to take too long compared to what you perhaps are used to. Let go of that expectation that things are going to get done quickly, and just allow yourself extra time to get from A to B, to get something done. And the beauty of that philosophy is that you're in retirement. You're not trying to rush to get to work or rush to get to an appointment. And take advantage of that, and it will also reduce your stress level. Now, tipping has become pretty crazy in the United States in terms of the expectation that you tip 20%, and the rest of the world is not like that. Tipping is not nearly as frequent or as expected as it is in my home country. So don't feel like you have to tip, and don't tip unless it's clearly obvious that you need to tip, because in many cases there's a service charge included as well as a VAT charge in your check. Okay, cultural tips. So at least learn to say a couple of words in the language of the country that you're in. So just learn to say hello and learn to say thank you as a minimum. That will take you a long way. And remember to smile. Don't be afraid to smile. That will also take you a long way. Every culture, I don't know of any culture that doesn't like a person that can smile and say hello and thank you. So do that. So final thoughts. So if you're the first time retired nomad that's going to be leaving your home country for a long period of time and do some traveling in early retirement, I congratulate you. I think you're doing a good thing, and I think it's much simpler than people think. So I hope these tips are helpful to you on that journey. And if you have any other thoughts about tips for first time early retirees, let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.